morning, good afternoon, good evening, Cal Jammers. We got an amazing pre-Cal Jam podcast sponsored by our good friends up in Palmyra, Wisconsin. I think it's that way. Standard Process and Charlie Dubois up there. I want to thank them for always contributing to the chiropractic profession and making the wheel spin in this profession. But we got a celebrity on the line today. We got Dr. Jason Deitch on the line today. And say good morning or good afternoon to everybody, if you would, Jason.
Great to be here with you, Billy, and great to be here with all of you. Thanks for taking some time to hang out with us.
Oh, yeah, great. Now, I'm going to give it up to you because you were one of the guys that originally got me into this social media mode. And when the first time I heard Facebook, I go, what is this stuff? And I'm not even going to say what I thought because it's not very PC. But I just didn't get it. And there's a lot of doctors out there that, I mean, maybe not as much as back then. I mean, this was back 10 years ago when you were first preaching about Facebook. Why don't you go over your history a little bit for those people that don't know about your history?
You know, I got my first adjustment when I was 8 years old. I was told the story by my uncle who was a DE doc. I went to DE for years before I even ever went to chiropractic school. That's what I grew up with. That was my understanding, Dr. Sid and, the whole crew. And it just, really hit me at a very early age that this is a story the world needs to know.
Exactly.
It's just that simple. And my business background, I went to college at Northeastern University, studied marketing. My dad said to me, why marketing? I said, listen, I don't know what I want to do when I grow up, but I know whatever I do choose to do when I grow up, I'm going to have to be a good communicator about it in order to be able to get people to want it. And in time, I just kept listening. I went to programs like Inner Winners with Chuck Ribley and so on. I got in touch with what he would call my innate. I've just been drinking the Kool-Aid about, the chiropractic story for literally, 40 years now. I can't even believe it.
How many years?
40 years, I know, right? So I went to Life University, had a great time, an amazing experience, graduated, was in private practice in Northern California for almost 10 years. I got this crazy notion that we needed to really bring this message to the world. I had hoped our friends like the Riekmans, Jim Tempos, and others would be the leaders and get out there and do it, and they were all busy. And so I just kind of I believe in listening to the whisper inside, and the whisper said, we need a book. This is back in the mid 2000s, 2004, 2005. Guys like Deepak Chopra, Tony Robbins, they're all on TV. They're talking about personal power and how much potential we have. As far as I'm concerned, they were telling our story but leaving out the best part, which is that you can go to an office, get checked, get adjusted to really express your personal power, your unlimited potential, and so on and so forth. So I kind of, at first I was all pissed off, and then I said, okay, let's make lemonade out of this whole thing. These guys are just sort of laying down the pathway, and it's up to us to complete the bridge and explain to people how important the nerve system is and keeping the nerve system clear. Long story short, I decided I was going crazy in practice because I just knew I needed to do something bigger. My wife at the time said, I'll go back to work. You figure out the next version of whatever it is you're going to do. As fate, destiny, luck, whatever you want to call it, would have it, she ended up becoming the first director of marketing at Facebook. Now, in 2005,
that's fate, baby.
People thought we were out of our minds, walking away from a good practice, steady income, a healthy, steady lifestyle, so that your wife and you have 2 kids are going to work for some 18-year-old kid starting up some company that nobody ever heard of before. But we trusted the process, trusted the voice within, and, I guess it was a good decision. So,
and then the light bulb went off in your brain that you could utilize this form of media, which was new at the time, to take the chiropractic message to the world. And again, I was like apprehensive at first when I first heard you talk about it, but boy, have my eyes been blown wide open. I remember in the office here, Mark DeVictor Hansen speaking at the DCS meetings, And he talked about this thing called YouTube, and I thought that was a stupid name for something. I go, what is YouTube and what is Facebook? Come on, you guys come up with better names than that.
Yeah.
But boy, was I wrong and misjudged it, because these tools are the tools that have allowed us to really magnify our message in an uncensored world, because everything in the controlled media is controlled. They're not going to let anything positive out about chiropractic. They're not going to allow us to communicate our message because everything's contained by the pharmaceutical cartel. This is a medium that's totally unleashed, unchained. And again, I know that there's probably goals to reel in the whole Facebook thing and YouTube and contain it and eliminate that as well. But while it's open, let's channel this and let's get this message out.
Billy, you're nailing it, man. First thing, I'll just sort of illuminate the irony of how closed-minded our whole profession tends to be about new things, right? Right. And ironically, that is exactly what we as a profession want the public to do, right?
Right.
Like, they didn't grow up with chiropractic.
Right.
They don't think it's normal. They're like, stupid name. I'm not into that. Nobody ever, right? Whatever it is. And yet we want them to keep an open mind, but we tend to not necessarily act as if. But you're nailing it, Billy. You've taken full advantage. You see the light. You've allowed your inner BJ to, get out there and spread the message around the world. And we do have a window of time. And I think we have, good fortune on our side if we show up and really start, understanding how to think about this. And I think that's one of the challenges we have right now is, doctors still think of this sort of as a marketing tool to get new patients, and they're trying to figure it out. And if they don't get a few new patients within a few hours, like, oh, this doesn't work. It's, it's a waste of my time. But it's a megaphone. It's an amplifier. Somebody gives you this tool. I mean, speak up, speak out, speak loud, and don't stop. And that's really what we got to do.
Yeah, and I mean, I've noticed since being, I don't know, I'm getting some echo here, but.
How do we define ourselves, right? Was BJ in the radio business? Was he in the television business? I think he was in the communication, get my story out to as many people as possible business.
Right.
And whatever technology, was most advanced at the time to reach the most amount of people was the business he was in. And that, there's no doubt, it's completely obvious, that's what it is. And if you're not sure, if you're not totally convinced, then wherever you are, look in your reception area. If you're driving, look at the car next to you. I guarantee you somebody's doing this.
Yeah, except me, but that's okay. Well, that's a whole other story for another program.
None of the rules really apply to you.
Yeah, that's true.
We can say except me for you on most things. So.
I don't want to be part of that whole experiment. I don't want to be a lab rat for that one. I guarantee you within the next 10 years, there's going to be an epidemic of some type of cancer, most likely brain cancer. And I don't, you know what? They said cigarettes were safe. I didn't buy that, and I'm not going to buy that. And that's okay. I just tell people don't use them as much as you use them. You should probably, detach. I just see people are like really pretty much attached to those things at the hip.
It's an addiction. Right, now, there's no question.
No, it's an addiction. It's okay, and that's the other thing. Like we were saying earlier, you got to learn how to use Facebook too. I mean, you can go down that rabbit hole and waste a lot of time with that. And I mean, I don't know if this is right or wrong, but I don't get on Facebook. I don't have my phone and I look at it and see what everybody's posted. I get on, do my post, and boom, I'm out of there. And then I go back and do stuff that I need to do. Every once in a while I get on there and like people's stuff because people have gotten, you never like any of my stuff, and I like your stuff all the time. All right, so now you went to Life University, Atlanta, with Sid, and now you're working with Dr. Guy Reekman down there, and you got this project called Amplify, not Amplitude, which I got corrected on the other day. It's just sometimes it just came out wrong. It's same vibe, amplitude, amplified. Tell me what's going on there and how we can use that. And I need to even get a little bit better on board. I was just thinking that before this call. So explain what you're doing down there.
Well, I'm going to explain it in two different ways. One, I'll start with the big picture. The big picture is that we're in the business of changing the world. We've got an idea that we know can transform humanity around the world. Now that sounds audacious, but if you know the chiropractic story, you know it's completely true.
Right.
There are messages that go viral seemingly overnight, but if you study how that happens, usually, unless it's just a rare lottery ticket type winner, usually there's a lot of preparation, there's a lot of work, there's a lot that goes into getting lucky and having something go viral. I know there's exceptions. I'm talking about most things most of the time.
You mean
So,
not just some stupid cat video? You mean?
well, that's what I mean. So, yes, there are things that just sort of catch. But a lot of these things are strategically created, and then it looks as if it randomly happened. And one of those things back in 2012, which at the time became the most viral video ever, was a film made by a guy named Jason, in fact, filmmaker, and it was called Coney 2012, A-O-N-Y 2012. You can do some research about it. It was a fascinating story. But that's when we started Amplified. When I started it, I approached Dr. Guy Reekman because there's very few people I know who are as talented as he is and has the vision, the talent, the ability to see big.
Right. And he always has, too. He's always that's been his, like, forte ever since I've known him. Back in the day, what was that program he used to, with Joe Felicia? What was that program he was with?
Yeah, Renaissance.
Yeah, Renaissance, right.
Started the concept of patient education videos before anybody even had a VCR.
Right.
So if there's anybody that knows how to look at the future and bring us there, it's him. And I live in California, I live in Silicon Valley up here where people are literally creating Facebook and Twitter and all these technologies. I've met a few of the people and, I met a guy who basically was showing me this brand new technology about how they use it to give their employees the social media messaging they need to share about their company. And literally at this point, 85 of the Fortune 500 companies out there use the exact same technology Amplified is built in. And they pay millions of dollars to do what I'm giving to the profession for free.
Right.
So it is a technology. Well, let me go back to Dr. Reekman's story, then I'll get into the specifics of how it applies. So what Dr. Reekman and I basically came up with was this idea that if we could get 20,000, 25,000 chiropractors all connected to a network, and we could start giving them great professional content that they can start sharing with their practices, then that would be of great value to chiropractors and their community. It is a phenomenal practice builder, but there's something bigger at work. And that is, imagine, again, studying the Coney 2012 program. What they did was they spent 9 years building a nonprofit organization, getting everybody connected, so that when they finally made the film, it had, forgive me, I think it was 200 million views within like 9 days. I mean, just insane numbers. Don't quote me on the exact numbers. You can look it up. It's the most viral video ever at the time. And we studied that exact model. And we said, okay, let's take the next 2 or 3 years. Let's build a network of chiropractors who each focus on building at least 1,000 people that they're connected to locally, which all serves you and your practice.
Right.
You build your practice's Facebook page, you now have your own asset. You click a button, you're reaching thousands of people in Newport Beach about what's on your mind, what's going on in your practice, and so on. You now do the same thing to tens of thousands of chiropractors. The power is truly amazing, and it's true power. So we came up with this idea that Guy basically agreed that he will create the ultimate chiropractic movie. He did it back in 1995, for those of us that remember the centennial.
Right.
He went to film school. He knows.
Right.
But what we both agreed was for him to spend, a healthy amount of money to create the next best chiropractic movie and have it go out to, 10 or 20,000 chiropractors who all go, that was awesome, great job. We got to let people know. That's not the goal. It's not moving the needle. It's not making much impact. So we said, let's be patient with this thing and let's create a system out of it. So that's the goal. We're at about 13,000 chiropractors now. We're almost 3 years into it. And we're making September 18th, 2018, what we hope and envision to be our launching date, that we'll have 20, 25,000 chiropractors, each who have spent the last few years building their local following, building their practices, building your Facebook networks all the way. And the Amplified technology is designed very simply to make it free and easy for docs just like you that don't want to waste your time on Facebook. You shouldn't waste your time. But you got a message, you got to get out to people. That's the passion, that's the mission. We make it simple and easy. So there's a massive selection of.
Well, why wouldn't somebody want to do it? I don't understand that. I mean, to me, it seems like you're doing all the work and you've got 13,000. I don't know why you're not don't have people clamoring for this. It's just people don't know about it, or what's the reason?
I think, Billy, you're ahead of the curve. You nailed it. You said it. You said, listen, my first impression was, I don't want to deal with it.
Right.
I don't want to, and this is what I've been saying from stage lately, just to address that exact issue. If I said to you, Billy, I said, listen, I'm going to give you your own television studio.
Right.
You can come in anytime, record whatever you want, 24/7 for free, and you can even broadcast it for free to as many people around the world as you can get to watch your own television channel. Where are you going to go? I don't watch TV. I'm not interested. You don't watch TV. It doesn't matter if you watch TV.
And that's the thing. People don't get up and turn on the TV anymore. The first thing they do is they open up their computer. At least that's what I do. And go, I have to admit, yeah, you use that. I'm not going to go down that road. But I open my thing and I look at my Facebook messages. I see what's going on. I see how my stuff that I posted yesterday's doing. I mean, and then I go to work. That's kind of what I do. And sometimes I might look at the weather and see what the radar looks like. I might look and see what the swell's doing. But admittedly, people don't go and watch TV anymore. They go open their computer and they get their news from social media. I mean, that's just where it's at. And if you want to deny that, I mean, it's like, who was it? Wayne Gretzky said, you want to go where the puck's going. You don't want to go where it's at. So it's just, to me, it's a no-brainer. And I'm like so tech, like, I'm slow, dude. I'm tech slow. I mean, I was born in an age when we were, slide rules and calculators were like technology. And now you got things like, still, I don't even know the depths of where we can go with this internet. And that's a question for you, too, is like, I can see since I've been doing Facebook and social media that there are a lot more restraints. I don't get the traction I used to get. Do you ever see a day when we're going to have independent kind of like social forums to get this message out? Or where's it going?
Yeah, no. So we address all of those issues. I stay ahead of the curve. The biggest challenge is communicating with chiropractors to understand what to do. Most of them just want to go, oh, I don't really care. And yet, what I've been teaching, our clients, those people that use Amplified and so on, is that there is a way in which you can teach your members, teach your people, your practice members, patients, clients, whatever you want. You can teach them how to click like 2 or 3 clicks on their phone, or you can even do it for them, so that every time you make a post, your post will appear first in their newsfeed every time they check Facebook.
Wow.
So what we have is I think a shift in paradigm we have to make, and that is that as long as we keep thinking of Facebook as a marketing tool, the psychology of that is, how do I use this to get more new patients? And if that's your psychology, it's very similar to, the chiropractor who goes, how do I find the perfect adjustment in order to relieve your headache?
Right.
That's a specific intention. Now, you and I both know, if you know about chiropractic and so on, I don't think there is a headache adjustment, right? You make your adjustments. Most of the times, the body heals itself. You don't have that issue any longer. And that's the same metaphor that I'm using, is if you'll communicate your message on a regular basis through this tool that most people these days, in fact, use to wake themselves up in the morning. I survey all my audiences now. Most people use it as their alarm clock in the morning. First thing they do, they turn off their alarm. The second thing they do is check in. They check Facebook, see what's up.
Right.
So as long as we think of it as a tool to get something, we're going to have a very different and difficult attitude than if we use it as a tool to give something. If you understand that what you have in your heart, your head, your knowledge, your wisdom, your passion, your inspiration is the gift to your community, and your job is not to hack the system to get as many new patients as possible. Right. Your job is to speak up, speak out every day, all day, to try to get your message to as many people as you possibly can, whether you need new patients or not, because that's the mission and that's what needs to get done. There's no way you're not going to get more new patients come in. Now, if you put a little skill behind it and some strategy behind it, you'll exponentially get amazing results. But it's the attitude that's the hardest part for us to get through. First, again, no different than the public's attitude about chiropractic.
Right, and you hit the nail on the head because I hear this all the time too. It's like, I'll talk about, because I love public speaking and I love going out into my community and speaking on all different various topics in the corporate world, the YMCA, at health food stores. I enjoy it, man, and the reason I do it is not because I need new patients, but yeah, that's going to be the gravy. That's going to be the secondhand, benefit to it. But literally, the objective is, I don't know about you. I mean, I know about you. I mean, I totally know about you. Our goal is to change the world, man. It's not just to get a new patient in the door and extract whatever the money is out of them. It's literally, we want to change the consciousness of this planet to create sustainability for future generations, and we can't do that with a subluxated, drugged up, friggin' vaccinated, EMF'd world. We have to get fluoridated. I can keep going, like geoengineering, all the stuff that's going on that literally drives me friggin' batty, that so few people even realize. So the objective of what we're doing here is not to try to get new patients. And again, they're going to come if you do it right. I mean, I do a testimonial. I can boost it. I can pick my neighborhood where I want to send it to. I can pick the demographics, the age of the female. I mean, it's like, dude, it's like amazing. It's like you looked at the stuff that we had before, like doing a yellow page ad. How stupid is that crap? Or a newspaper ad. I mean, we can pinpoint exactly, and the ROI on this stuff is amazing. And you could ramp it up. Like if you want 20 new patients here, just put this into it. And the thing that I don't get about chiropractors, they'll go to Vegas and they'll gamble. And if they told them every time you went to that blackjack table and every time you put $1 down, you're going to get $10, they'd be there all day. But they won't do the same thing in their own practice, getting not just the new patient thing, but literally for us to have the capacity to change the consciousness of this planet, man.
That's it. So that's what Amplified's all about. We want to build the network so that we can change the world. Dr. Riekman's as far as I'm concerned, the best chiropractic movie maker possible. He'll make the movie, but it's got to get out to hundreds of millions of people in order to be able, to tip things a little bit, to move the needle. But the cool thing is, all along the way, those people that get on the movement are both contributing to the big idea, and they're building their practices all along the way. And we're giving, I've invested hundreds of thousands of dollars out of my own money to make this stuff for everybody to have for free. So, believe me, on some of my darker days, Billy, I ask myself the same question. It's free. What's everybody waiting for? I don't really understand.
Right.
I stay positive.
Do you ever wonder why you do it?
I often wonder why I do it. I'm not sure there's a day I don't ask myself why I do it.
Do you think I ever have those same thoughts about Cal Jam? It's like, why, it's like there's a lot of work that goes into this stuff, and you don't understand why, I don't have like a Super Bowl full of chiropractors yet, and it's like you work so hard to try to motivate this profession, which is the probably the best thing that's ever been exposed on the planet, with the chiropractic jewel we hold in our hands. And some people just don't get it, It's frustrating. So let me ask you a question. What direction is the movie planning on going on? I mean, I've always said it would be an amazing movie if we, and again, I don't want, steal any thunder here, but do a history of our profession just from back. I think it would be an amazing movie where we saw just like D.D. Palmer adjusting his first adjustment and all the infighting that went on, and because we don't have a perfect history, it's a glorious history, and all the things where chiropractors were jailed and the whole evolution of this profession. To me, it's like the best story ever in American history, and then just show how it's evolved to where the direction we're going, and how we're really changing the landscape of where healthcare is today.
We have not gotten into details yet. I think it's a great idea. We're going to be listening for more and more feedback. So I can't comment on the specifics of the movie. I know Guy's going to come up with something magical. We'll collaborate on it. So can't comment on the specifics yet. But obviously, it's intended to transform the consciousness that people have about health and healthcare. And life in general. It's about life. It's not just health. Mm-hmm. It is going to certainly focus on making sure that people perceive and understand chiropractic to be a neurological profession, not just a bone cracking or bone profession, orthopedic profession, but about the brain, the nerve system, the neurology, and focus really on how to get people to want what it is that we do. There's some things that we just have culturally as a profession, continued to do, that's just not so attractive. We're overzealous, we oversell it, we don't know how to, create buyers, as Glow would say. There's just a lot we don't do great as it relates to communication, as ironic as it is for a profession so focused on restoring communication. But
the body, yeah.
Yeah. So, but I think together collectively, I'm hoping, we start seeing people sick and tired of all of the, small groups and the fighting that, listen, you want to complain and, sit back and just be pissed off that, it hasn't happened yet. That's a choice. But, some of us crazies are still, out there going for it.
Right.
Dr. Sid would always say, never, never, never.
Never, never. I lost you. I love Skype. So you were talking, Dr. Sid said never, 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 and then bloom, you were gone. So tell me what happened.
Well,
tell me what Sid meant by that.
Well, I think, basically Sid was saying that we've just got to keep going. I mean, I watch the entrepreneurs out here, and they just keep on going. They keep listening. They keep adapting. Not succeeding is not an option. That's the attitude many of them have, not all of them. And even amongst their failures or so-called failures, that's just temporary. That's called a learning experience.
Exactly.
They just keep going, and it's inspiring. And listen, I know we are a profession filled with lovers who love people.
There's no other profession that has a higher percentage of lovers in it than chiropractic. You don't get into this profession unless you're a lover.
That's it. But we've got to either ourselves embrace the idea that this isn't about us getting something, it's about us being more generous than ever before. I keep saying that sharing is caring. You want to just keep sharing your stuff, build your audience. If you've got questions or don't think it works, then learn how to work it, right? There's plenty of people that go, oh, chiropractic doesn't work. I've got a major problem. That won't work for me. Well, that they don't understand what they're talking about.
Right.
You're saying the same thing. If you're like, it doesn't work, it's not for me, you don't know what you're talking about. I'll just be very clear with you. So if you get the big idea that there's a world that needs saving, if you know you're part of a profession of people like you and I that are crazy and committed to thinking we can actually make this kind of difference, and I'm still crazy enough to think we can. There are people that do. I don't know why you and I can't be those people too. Then just have an open mind and start learning, asking questions. Bo Pierce from Circle of Docs, myself, there's a few of us that really are starting to try to create some greater clarity within the profession about what tools to use, why to use them, how to not waste your time, how to delegate or automate it. If you don't want to do it yourself, that's fine. Billy, you're a genius, man. And I mean it. You keep going, I don't even have a phone, I don't know how to do any of this stuff, and yet you're the guy who's probably doing it better than anyone. And the genius is that you just get experts around you who know what they're doing to do the work you shouldn't even be wasting your time doing.
Right.
You're doing the important stuff right now. No, You can't sub out your personality, your passion, your voice. You can sub out video editing, who posts it, when. So we just got to get our profession to get their priorities straight. Either you get the big idea, you want to change the world, join us, be a part of this, come to our events, learn how to use these tools. They work if you know how to work them. And if you got questions, reach out, ask, whatever the prejudices are. We all got issues. Get over the issues. I don't care if you like Facebook or don't like Facebook. The question is, do you like humanity or do you not like humanity?
Yeah, and that's what it boils down to, bro. It's just like you hear that all the time. Well, I don't need to do talks. I got all referral practice. I don't need to do social media. I got enough new patients. Well, what is this about you, man? It's just like, and the thing is, you have to understand that we got a world out there that's sick and dying, and it's not just about you anymore. It's about us really communicating what all of us as chiropractors do, not just you and not just your patients. It's the world, man, because plus your kids and you have to grow up on a world that's, if we got a toxic world with toxic people and then you're going to grow up with that same thing. So our like you said, we're out to really change the consciousness of the planet. And this is the medium that's going to do it, whether you like it or not. I mean, the reality is it's just like where the puck is going. Social media is it, in my opinion. I mean, I love public speaking, but you literally, I can get on social media, and like I've got a following around the world, bro. I mean, it's because you look at where, I mean, the thing that's what I love about all the not the graphics, but what do you call the back end stuff where you look at all
The analytics.
analytics? Yeah, thank you. It was one of the, I had a 70s moment there. You can see where all your fans are and when they're on. I mean, it's an amazing tool that, you don't have to learn it, and I don't even really learn as much as I should, but plus it's fun.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, when you've got something of value to give to people, it's nice to give gifts.
Right.
You share it because, you were blessed with the understanding, the exposure. Somebody was crazy enough to share it with you.
Right.
It's that simple. You keep bringing up where's it going, what's the future, and for those that aren't convinced yet, I'm telling you, you heard it first. Basically with Facebook Live.
Yeah.
And I can tell you right now, just I read the journals, I keep up on where the venture capitalists are putting money, where the startups are, and so on. Basically, I know this is going to sound crazy to a lot of people, but Facebook is the new TV.
Right.
Programming, the news. I mean, the election was, you keep hearing even now, the election was severely, I'll say, Facebook had a lot to do. And it's not necessarily what you think. There's the whole fake news conversation, but there were some very specific targeted strategies that Trump used in the very last minute, about $150 million they spent on Facebook.
Wow.
And strategists are saying much of that, was just strategic and smart to help him win the election. He did, and they're crediting Facebook for a lot of that. So that's the part I don't understand. Everybody's like, they're not into it, they don't want it, but then they sit back and go, well, but how come nobody understands us?
Right. Is anybody away?
Because we're not putting our message in their face. That's why they don't understand it.
And I like what you just said, too. Facebook is it's a TV channel. It's the same thing. YouTube's another TV channel that you got to utilize. Instagram's another TV channel that people tune into. They don't go and sit in front of a TV set. I mean, it's almost, you have to be dumbed down to sit in front of a TV set and watch things like CNN anymore. I mean, because it's just so much just literal programming from higher up that, I mean, that's the beauty of this media, is it's not censored, it's not programming, it's not brainwashing, it's liberating, and it allows people to really kind of almost in a sense rock the boat and rock the status quo and get where we need to head with the consciousness on this planet.
You see things, you see the Arab Spring, you see the Occupy movement. The only reason these truly revolutionary things have been able to happen is because of instant direct communication.
Right.
I know you don't watch TV, but I can tell you, and I try to limit it as much as I can, except for watching the Warriors every once in a while. But television has become basically a direct information technology for the pharmaceutical industry.
Exactly.
It's never been more obvious.
No.
I've never seen so many drug commercials, one after the other after the. The joke is there's programming in between the pharmaceutical agenda. It's just so obscene and so obvious that.
That if you can't see it, then you're on drugs yourself. That's the whole thing. And that's what I say all the time. Hey, when you watch that shit, you're actually supporting that whole medium, because if we all just unplugged our TV sets and basically said this, which I'm not doing with it, then that whole medium's going to go down, dude, and that whole capacity for the pharmaceutical industry to communicate their satanic message, and I call it satanic because it is, because drugging children, drugging people, to me is a form of sorcery, which is an act of Satanism. That's just me. If you don't believe me, then take your drugs, vaccinate your kids, do whatever you want to do. I'm not your guy, but the reality is that whole medium is, to me, it's all influenced by those people that want to bring and destroy this planet and control people. And I mean, it's not like this is rocket science. This is pretty evident to anybody that looks down the rabbit hole and knows what's going on globally with a one world government and ultimate control and pushing us towards Agenda 21. I mean, I didn't mean to get into all this conspiracy theory conspiracy truth. And that's what I love about social media. It gives me a chance to like wake people up, and it's like I hear it all the time. I get people all the time. I really had no idea about vaccines till I heard you talk about it, and it's so reassuring. And again, it's not that I got a patient out. I saved that kid's life because that mom that lives in Indiana saw me on Facebook and got to hear a message that she never ever had been exposed to before. Because now we got the freedom to do that, man.
I've been saying, and I've got more and more projects coming out. You'll see some really exciting things in 2017. But 2017 is the year that chiropractors have to hack Facebook as a technology and tool for good health and better living. If we would flood the network with positive messages, what I call a daily dose of inspiration, if we would simply start being smart and stop being lazy, and we would start using the technology of the day that's free.
Oh, God.
That I am giving you the tools to simply share and use. If you don't want to do your own videos and all the stuff that even I don't like to do, great. There are ways to do it. There's no excuse. Billy, we'll look back.
Let me ask you this. Why would somebody not want to do like a testimonial video with one of their patients? Well, I mean, to me, it's a no-brainer. It's not you selling you; it's them selling you. They came in with this problem, and now it's gone.
Here's our poster we give. There we go. You seen these?
Yeah.
So you just hold one of those. I mean, take a picture, right?
Yeah.
Next to the patient, next to the person. You don't even have to put it on video.
Where do I get one of those posters?
I will send you one.
Thank you. I'm going to get Lauren working with you, too. I mean,
for everybody else, if you want a poster, you go to amplifiedpro.com. That's our do-it-for-you service. We'll give you a poster. We'll send it right to your doorstep. We'll post for you every day if you don't want to do it yourself. Billy will get your poster in the mail.
Thanks.
Yeah,
that's one of my big I've already thought about what I'm going to talk about at Cal Jam, and I don't want to be the lone wolf out there, like, really pushing this agenda. Because, you stick your neck out, you get a lot of haters. But if we got all of us doing this stuff, we could flood social media. And then, we own the search engines. When something comes up for somebody's looking for something to help their kid with asthma, boom, it's chiropractic all over the place, man. That's the way it should be. And if the chiropractic doesn't work, which it almost always works, then put your kid on drugs. I mean, I understand, I understand. But the reality is, I know that the body is a self-healing organism. If we can get stress and tension off the nervous system, the body's going to heal itself. I know that in my heart. Why doesn't the rest of the world know that? Because we've been poor about communication to the world, and now we got the tools to do it.
That's it.
All right.
We're the only ones holding ourselves back.
Right.
You mentioned that testimonial. We got a couple very cool projects coming out. One of them is called One Grateful Patient. It's all about getting the world's largest collection of patient testimonials together in one place in order to be able to make sure that when people go to search engines, they see thousands of people's stories. So, listen, there's a lot of tools that are being built for you, but, we've got to rise and shine. We got to start being just more curious and interested in what do we need to do, not just to get, but how do I be part of a team that's actually changing the world, transforming consciousness, hacking the internet, and using it as a tool for good.
Right. And I want to also add this, too. It's amazing when you get really good with social media that you got people that come in as new patients or new practice members, whatever you want, new people. That's what I like to call them, new peeps. That feel like they know you already. They get you. They understand, because I attract people like me, which, I attract people that get it. I get, like, the majority of my practice, they don't vaccinate their kids. The majority of my people come to me that already have kind of a holistic view on health. I get people that understand what's going on with geoengineering. Those are the people that I attract, and it's really easy for me that they already, relate to me, to convert them into being on my team. It's a no-brainer, dude.
I am so glad you're saying this, Billy, because it's one of the biggest frustrations I experience. The joke is, man's walking down the path, stumbles over the truth, picks himself up, dusts himself off, and keeps on walking. And what I mean by that is that we're so quick to want to spend money and advertise and reach new people who don't know you from a bum on the street.
Right.
And that's the way you want to get new patients, because it's too hard to do it, to earn it and do it the other way. And yet, you are nailing it, bullseye. I'm so glad you brought it up. When you'll simply share yourself, your what goes on in your practice, honestly, if you'll follow the formula that I teach you how to do, then you nailed it. People come in already knowing you. They're
Right.
connected to you.
It's almost scary, dude.
It's not screw it up.
It's almost scary.
You want to get somebody from a spinal screening or from a Facebook ad who doesn't know anything about you versus somebody that's been watching your videos, been commenting on your posts, knows their friends are all coming in to see you. I call it basically your practice's Facebook family.
Right.
And that's a whole different deal. You get referrals and you get people that walk in ready to just go,
yeah.
Yeah.
Where do I sign up?
It's not when do I get out of here.
Right.
Just take my card. I'm in it. And I'm not oversimplifying it. They're sold by the time they come to the practice. They're not coming so they can get out of there as quickly as possible. It's just
they already understand you. They understand what you're about. They're there because they relate to what you've communicated to them. And the other thing that's really, it's kind of frustrating for me that I get so many people, I call them fans or whatever you want to call them. I don't know if they're fans. It's just people that follow you, that dig your shit, The thing that's cool is like, you get people from all over the world. They go, God, I wish I could find a chiropractor like you in my town. And then what I do is I'll go on Facebook and say, hey, I need a chiropractor in Des Moines, Iowa. And then who pops up? Or, people that I know. And then I send it to these people. It's a great way for us to build not only followers that get our idea, but it's a great way for us to get our chiropractors that are on point, because some chiropractors aren't on as point as some chiropractors are. They may look at it with a more allopathic, and I'm okay with those guys. I mean, that's cool. If you want to minimize what your effect in humanity, then you can do the back pain thing. That's great. You do that. My objective is to raise the vibration of a person so that they're a healthier, happier human being, through the art of chiropractic and the philosophy and the science of chiropractic, and not just limited to back pain. That's just my opinion. Again,
I agree.
Yeah.
And I want to challenge everybody out there, because what you just said is the reality. And I see your Facebook posts. So somebody responds back to you, and they go, oh, the best chiropractor is so-and-so, right? John Smith, whoever it is, right? And you give that information to whoever you're sending to Tennessee or wherever they are. I'm telling you, they're going to go on Facebook and they're going to look up that chiropractor and see, is their page presentable? What's their story? Who do they know that's already connected to the practice?
Right.
What are they up to? Is this somebody I want to... So my challenge to everybody watching is to go to your own practice's Facebook page and audit it as if you were a new patient. If you were a potential new person who was seeking to see if you were the right place to go, and put that filter on, put those glasses on, and that's your litmus test. If somebody can go and they have a great welcome, they're like, oh wow, this is pretty professional. If they can scroll down and see things that are interesting, that share your philosophy, share your story, you're going to attract lots of new people. If you go to the Facebook page and you don't even have a cover image at the very top, or if you do, it looks stupid or pixelated or cut off.
Right.
If you scroll down and all there are goofy posts about random stuff that doesn't really share your passion for wanting to inspire people to live their best life. And I'll give you another, sort of trap that chiropractors fall in. If everything you talk about is only chiropractic, you're not talking people's language. You're just selling your agenda, and it doesn't sell well. I hate to tell you. So you've got to put something there that is actually of interest to your community and value to your community, so they go, this is awesome.
Right.
This guy's like me. This doc understands me. I share that philosophy.
Right.
Maybe I go to that church. Maybe I've read that book. Maybe I agree with that, perspective.
I like bulletproof coffee.
There you have it.
And that's what I've always said to chiropractors, because, I get called a mixer a lot in the profession, and it's like, well, some people don't like chiropractic, so you use like women's health as bait to get them in. You use nutrition to get them in. You get meditation, and then you get them in, and then you get them a chance to tell them the chiropractic story from your standpoint and what your opinion is. And most people, once they hear the chiropractic story told in what I consider a rational, sensible way, there's no way they're going to not want it. I mean, to me, I look at chiropractic, everybody needs it, just like everybody needs a dentist, but even more, infinitely more important, because your teeth are cool and they, help you chew food, and it's important for a nice smile. But your spine, nervous system, and it basically controls your life, and not only the quality of your life, the quantity of your life. And that's my objective, to get people to understand that. Can I ask you a couple questions real quick too, though, before I keep ranting on this Facebook Live thing? And I'm just asking because I want to utilize it for myself. I don't utilize it enough. Explain to me how somebody could use that on their own Facebook page, say my DeMoss Chiropractic page. So, like, if I do my workshop, do my spinal workshop, that should be on Facebook Live.
Yeah.
So what about like just day to day in your practice, showing everybody getting adjusted? Tell me how. I mean, I don't know how to use it yet.
Yeah. So we've been building out different models, templates. Like, how do I think of this as a system? And what you're describing, or what you're asking me, is, the second step in my 3-step process is sharing great stuff daily. You've got to do that with an eye towards what do people care about. So one of the things that we've built is basically a template, a model that I call Tips Around Town.
Okay.
Okay, and we've got generic logos, we've got personalized logos. So it could be Tips Around Town with Dr. Billy D.
Okay.
Okay. So you got to have an ear towards not just selling or educating what you want them to know, but what are they going to be interested in wanting to go to your Facebook page to learn about? Right. That's number one.
You got to provide them. It's like, I don't know if you follow Gary Vaynerchuk at all.
I do, very much.
I love the guy because he reminds me a lot of me, because he's like, he's very articulate like me, with the very explicit.
Straight up.
Yeah, he is. And he's, it's not candy coat, that's the way I am. And again, I'm not for everybody, and probably not Gary Vaynerchuk's not for everybody. But he says it's jab, 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 left hook. It's like, you can't always come in with a left hook, man. You got to feed them and give them information so that they want to follow you. And then you throw an offer out. If you keep throwing everybody offers, they look at you as you're just trying to sell them. So you got to provide substance for people. You got to provide a reason for them to come back to your page. And then you throw an offer out once in a while. You don't want to just keep like hounding them, and then they just see that you're just trying to get something from them.
So I'm gonna answer your question, but this is one of the most powerful, I'll say, tactics that any chiropractor can do to exponentially grow their practice and keep it growing. So here's what I recommend everybody do. You write a list of the people, the places, and the products that you find yourself recommending on a regular basis. Okay, I know.
Okay, a list of the places, and what were the three?
People, places, products.
Got it.
Now, people you can break up into 2 categories. There's your professionals you refer to on a regular basis, right? An OBGYN, a psychiatrist, psychologist, an orthopedist, a neurologist, a general physician, a pediatrician. Okay. You should have relationships with those professionals that are chiropractic friendly.
Right.
So there's certain people that you can refer to when asked. So there's professionals. Then there's lifestyle people, right? Pilates instructors, yoga instructors, nutritionists, life coach, you name it, right? They're lifestyle-oriented people. Massage therapists, personal trainers, right? Every day, all day in your practice building, you get questions. Hey, who should I see for this? Where should I go for that? A good place for, whatever it is, right? So you're an information source. People look to you for information. You're probably either underserving them or overserving them, meaning you're just going, oh, yeah, there's a great massage parlor down the street, go check it out. Or you're spending way too much time, what stretch should I do for, when this hurts? And you're spending 10 minutes demonstrating the stretch, right?
Right.
So if you'll use Facebook Live or record these videos so that you literally are building a library, a video library, a resource center, so that you can say, hey, listen, if you live here in Newport Beach and you want to raise a healthy, drug-free family, or you want to, work in a high-performance area, then by becoming a part of our practice's Facebook family, you'll be able to access Dr. Billy D and our team's favorite things. We go around town, we share tips around town about the people, the places, and the products we recommend most, and our community shares their feelings about it also. That is an awesome, valuable resource for people that live in your town. So you write down the list of the people, you write down the list of the places, Pilates studios, natural food stores, wherever it may be, and then products. Now, you mentioned standard process. I'm a huge fan. We've got a whole library of standard process products. The key is that you can share with others. The key is to create the value for people wanting to be part of your community. But check this out. This is where it gets super exciting. If you were to do a video with, let's just say, your favorite personal trainer, right? Whoever it may be, somebody you refer to. Maybe it's a surfing teacher, right? I mean, sure. It is what it is. People go, learn how to surf. Where should I go? What do I do? Right? You go, listen, here's Facebook Live. Today my Facebook Live is with John Smith. He's a personal trainer. The guy is amazing. He's been coming to our practice for over a decade now, and he's one of the few personal trainers that really knows how to train you safely, effectively, with respect for the spine and nerve system. He understands subluxation. He understands the implication of your posture, of strength. He knows how to get results without causing damage to your nerve system. That's why we work together. He's your guy. So, information down below. You can interview him and ask questions, but here's where it becomes exponentially more powerful. If you'll do videos with 10 people, 10 places, and for 10 products that you recommend, and you then give the video of you interviewing them, talking about how great they are.
They share it with their people.
And all of a sudden, thank you very much, they're now bragging to everybody that the coolest, best chiropractor in town thinks they're the best personal trainer in town.
Right.
And you don't need to just pick one.
Right.
You can have several trainers,
Right.
whatever it is. So, I mean, it's similar to what you're doing right here. You know and I know. I'm taking this video. I'm going to share it with everybody. You win, I win, they win.
Everybody wins.
Just saying,
right.
This is the way the world works today, and we've just got to get our profession up to speed and just understand that this is a doable deal. I don't know if people have just lost hope. I don't know if there's this sense
No, I
of
don't think so.
There's no way we're going to do this thing. It's impossible, so I'm not even going to try. But Billy, you know it. I know it. We've got the tools. We just need people to just literally click the effing button on a regular basis and get a positive attitude and just be generous and start sharing great stuff every day.
Right. And it's not that
It's easy.
hard. You and I could talk for friggin' all day, dude. You know, that's the problem, huh? I get on these podcasts, and it's just like I'm having a conversation, and I'm learning from you. I mean, you should see. I don't know if you can see, I got a lot of notes I've been taking here.
Awesome.
And I'm going to have my team watch this video and think, because that's what the thing is. Like, you know, you might listen to this in your car, but you should really put it in front of your team and create discussion on how to better utilize social media for the benefit of your community, not just so you can get new patients, but they're going to come too. That's part of the issue. You're going to have to understand that this is going to bring new peeps in the door, and to me it's free, and if you want to spend money on it, you can maximize your ROI hugely by doing it right. And again, it's not rocket science, and I'm learning better how to do that. In fact, I'm getting some coaching on that right now, how to utilize, because I've learned that boosting's not the way to. There's other ways to do it. So it's a continual learning program. And again, like I have to say that I came from a generation where I didn't have computers, and we didn't have cell phones, and I'm trying to adapt, but I have a very young team. I mean, everybody's in their 20s, and they get it. I surround myself with people that can help me get it where it needs to go.
What you have is a mission.
Right.
You've got a purpose.
Right.
If it wasn't the internet, you'd figure out something else, right? You've got something the world needs to know, and you're committed to letting them know. And even if the world is, everybody within a 30-minute drive of you, that's fine too. This is one of those things. You can think globally, act locally. You play your part in your community. Be as selfish as you want to be. That's fine. But collectively, if we build this network and we keep sharing information, making it easy for you to share good quality, great, professionally designed stuff, we can do this thing. And I just have to give a shout out to Standard Process.
Yeah.
Chris Lippy, John Knabb, the Southern Cal crew, Charlie Dubois. They're one of the first to really support this project on a sponsorship basis. We've built an extensive library of great, what we call Standard Process lifestyle posts. If you want to sell more standard process products in your practice, we make it simple and easy, just like the pharmaceutical industry.
Right.
So people walk into your practice going, hey, I saw those posts. I saw that video. I keep seeing all the standard process stuff. What should I be taking?
Right.
And they're just giving you permission. They're asking. You don't have to feel like you're selling it. They're saying, please share with me. You're the expert. What should I take? And it's just so much cooler when people are asked, like the purple pill. I mean, listen, pharma knows what they're doing.
Right.
That's stupid. So,
you know, it's funny because I sometimes get my haters like, if your stuff is so good, why do you have to sell it all the time? I go, well, look what I get sold every day, man. I get sold stuff for, people that can't have a boner, or, somebody's got allergies, or, or should get this flu shot. I mean, for the pharmaceutical industry is like hugely into marketing a bogus product that sucks, and I'm trying to market a life-saving, like, change of consciousness is what I'm trying to get a market to people. So don't give me any lip about it, And I don't want to touch on the movie again, but I just know that the chiropractic story. What's that green book called, The Chiropractic Story? Who wrote that book? I'm having a 70s moment. You remember?
Which green book are you referring to?
No, it's not. It's a kind of like, it's called The Chiropractic Story by. Oh God, it's a green cover, but it's not like a green book. And I know our viewers and listeners on here probably know what I'm talking. But that's a great story, and I think that's what people really like when they go to movies. They like a story and storytelling, and that's why I think, just the history of chiropractic and its evolution is one of the most amazing success stories. I mean, because it's the second largest health profession in the world, and it's gone against it's always been the black sheep. We've gone against the stream of the current consciousness and orthodoxy, and we've always been downtrodden and beat up, and we still survived because it works and because people are looking for something different that's better than drugs. And it's just the biggest success story ever in the history of the planet to me. I mean, and
wait to be told.
Yeah, and I got him bummed. I can't remember the name of the author of that book.
Did you see the movie From Simple Beginnings, Guy's movie? That
yeah, of course I did.
Showed the adjustment and the whole thing.
Right. Yeah. Because I've always thought that's one thing that I've said this from the stage. But I think we need to have a movie that really portrays what we are, and I'm hopefully that's what we're going to get out of this current project that Guy's producing.
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to shut up because I'm going to actually go look at the waves, even though it's a little stormy here. I want to get wet today. Love you, bro. Love you so much. I love everything that you do. And thanks for being a major influence in me getting my word out through social media, which I used to think was a joke, and now I embrace it full hard because I love it. It's so much fun.
Appreciate it. Appreciate everything you do, Billy.
Rock and roll. Peace out.
Happy birthday, Cal Jam! It's our 10th anniversary, Cal Jam 10! Come out and party with all of us. Dave Asprey, Suzanne Humphreys, David Wolf. We're going to have the most awesome celebration, celebrating massive health, celebrating planet sustainability, and celebrating chiropractic!